Hi gang, Rob here. It is the evening of 3 August 2023, Thursday night, 9 o'clock. Time for a knife sale on the Apostle P channel, and that's exactly what we shall have. Before we get into the meat of it, and there is a lot of meat, let's do a little housekeeping as usual. First up, I need you to be familiar with and agreeable to the terms of the sale. I'm going to post them on the screen for you in just a moment. I will also print them in the description underneath this video. So if you are new to this weekly sales event, please read them, understand them, be familiar with them. If you have trouble understanding them, I got you covered. At the very top of the description underneath this video, you're going to see 3 links to previous videos on this channel. The first is to my Primer for Buyers video. That's a 38-minute expanded explanation of the terms of the sale. So if you are new, I strongly suggest that you watch that. The second link is to my FAQs for Consignors video. So if you're interested in using this weekly sales vehicle to move along some of your collection, that video explains how this all works from the Consignors perspective. The third link, as always, is to my Rates and Services video for the ApostleP Knife Service, the original precision sharpening service for the online knife community. So in the all-important video description, you will see those 3 links at the top, and then in the middle will be the terms of the sale. At the bottom, the list of tonight's inventory, complete with timestamps on the left, pricing on the right. If you see the word sold in lieu of pricing in the right-hand column, that means that knife has been bought and paid for by its new owner. No need to send an inquiry about anything marked sold. But if you see pricing, you'll generally see 2 numbers. The number on the left of the slash is the price of your knife as shown in the video. The number on the right, the price of your knife as sharpened by the ApostleP Knife Service. There will be spots available tomorrow, Friday the 4th, for next day sharpening. There will be 4 knives purchased that will be sharpened tomorrow and shipped with all of the as shown inventory. And then if you want your knife sharpened and you fall outside that first 4, it's only going to be about 3 weeks till your knife ships. I think that's it for the preliminaries. Let's get the terms of the sale up on the screen, and then we'll be right back with the sale inventory. Here are the terms. All right, let's get to it, shall we? First up, we've got 5 leftovers from last week, and we're going to give you some screaming deals on them. First among them is this from Giant Mouse. It is an Ace Atelier in green canvas. A sweet, smallish pocket knife. From Anso and Voxness, right? OD green canvas micarta scales. Tip up deep carry wire clip that looks like it's going to be reversible left or right. Ball bearing pivot, but an opening hole. Let's see. Got kind of a harpoon clip point blade, a stout little thing, Elmax steel. Blade length 2 7/8, handle 3 15/16. It is a stainless steel liner lock, and there you can see the lock engagement, nice and early. It is rock solid. Blade centering pretty daggone close to perfect, if not perfect. Let's see. These are available new from your favorite internet retailer for $215. We ran this one last week at $160, didn't sell, dropped it to $140 for the weekend. This week, man, what a deal on this knife. 125 bucks. I remember when people were paying over retail for giant mouse knives. Now they're just part of the landscape. So 125 like it is, 150 with an ApostleP edge. The giant mouse Ace Atelier. Next up, another one from Giant Mouse. This is the Ace Nimbus version 2 in natural micarta. And this natural micarta has a lot of resin in it. Notice the deep color. Kind of the same construction and features as the Atelier, just different size and shape. It is going to have a deep carry tip up wire clip that is ambidextrous. Again, it is an opening hole mechanism on ball bearings. Elmax steel. This time stone washed instead of satin. Blade is 3 inches. Handle is 4 1/4. There is your lockup on the stainless steel liner. It's rock solid. Centering dead down the middle. Condition will be near mint in box. Price of these brand new is 185 bucks at your favorite web retailer. We ran this one last week at 140. It didn't sell, dropped it to 120 for the weekend. This week, let's do $105, 105 like it is, 130 with an ApostleP edge. The Giant Mouse Ace Nimbus version 2. Next up, this is a shocker. These used to sell like in the first 15 minutes every time we had one. It's from Boost Blades, and it is the Smoke Mini with the shred carbon fiber, or marbled carbon fiber they call it, scale. Blue anodized titanium hardware, including a right hand tip up milled titanium clip. It is a front flipper. I will not embarrass myself. There you go. We got kind of a long, skinny muskrat clip blade. CPM 20 CV, 3-inch blade length, 3 15/16 inches of handle. You got a steel inserted titanium frame lock that engages thusly. It is dead rock solid. Ball bearing pivot, nice, smooth, and free. Centering dead down the middle, looking through that floating backspacer. How about that? Great looking little knife. Like new in the box. These are out of stock when they were available. They were $240. We ran this one last week at $200. No action. Dropped it to $180 for the weekend, and it's still here. Let's go $160 like it is, $190 with an ApostleP edge. Next day sharpening is available, and that is the Boost Blades Smoke Mini. Next up, we've got one from the Pena X series. Not a fusion slip joint. This one is the Dogleg Jack in Brown micarta. And this one is going to be a bolster lock in titanium. So basically a titanium frame lock milled out to accept covers or scales. We do have a right-hand tip-up milled titanium pocket clip. Steel inserted bolster lock. It is a front flipper in M390. Beautifully swedged spear point blade. Hollow ground. Blade length on the Dogleg is 2 7/8 inches of M390. 3 3/4 inches handle. Lockup is dead rock solid. Ball bearing action super sweet. Centering perfect. We'll call it like new in the box. These are discontinued and out of stock. Sold listings on eBay run between $260 and $275. We ran this last week at $240. It didn't sell. We dropped it to $215 for the weekend. It's still here. Let's go. Wow. $195 like it is, $220 with an ApostleP edge. That got to be the cheapest one of these anywhere. Like new in the box. The Pena X series Dogleg Jack. Next up. You know, this is just an elegant little knife from Kizer. And the knife inside the box is the KI3502 Minitherium. Kind of a stylized design, wouldn't you say? Ought to have great retention, looking at that finger groove in the handle. So I guess this is like a flat ply carbon fiber, no weave. It's so handsome. Probably doesn't have the strength of a woven carbon fiber, but who cares? Do you really need it in knife scales? Just gorgeous. Blue anodized titanium, milled clip and backspacer. It'll be right hand tip up only. Flipper, and it's a flipper you can dig. The blade on the Minitherium is S35VN, 3 inches in length. You have a 4 3/16 handle. It is a stainless steel liner lock. Engaged there. Rock solid. Centering on the Minitherium right down the middle. Let's see, condition is like new in the box. They're discontinued and out of stock. When they were available, they had a web retail of $135. And this model staying kind of right there. eBay sold listings between $120 and $140. We ran this last week at $100. Didn't sell, dropped it to $85 for the weekend. Let's do $75 this week. $100 with an Apostle P edge. And next day sharpening is available if it's one of the first 4 this week. The Kizer KI 3502 Minitherium. Next up, we have a leftover, but from 3 weeks ago, because I mailed somebody the wrong knife and didn't have it back in time for the sale last week. So here we go. From Great Eastern Cutlery's Tidioute line, we have the Shaffer Farm Whittler, a number 59, 2322 in my favorite acrylic, Hummingbird acrylic. Man, look at that gorgeous thing. Yeah. So the 59 Shaffer Farm Whittler is a true split back Whittler. Look how the center wedge spacer terminates. Beautifully done. We have a main blade that is a swedged spear on a cam tang, and then secondary blades are going to be, I guess I'm going to call that a Warncliffe, not a coping blade, and a pen. And those are on half stops, the secondaries. So you've got 3 9/16 inches of closed length. Your main blade has about a 7 pull, nice walk and talk. All blades are beautifully aligned. I'm going to call this like new in tube. Sold listings on eBay. I think there are only 2 of them in this cover material, and they were $180 and $185 sold. We ran this a few weeks ago at $175. Didn't sell, dropped it to $155 for the weekend. Let's go $140 like it is, $180. I sharpen all 3 blades. The GEC Tidioute number 59 Shaffer Farm Whittler in Hummingbird acrylic. Next up, we have one from Maniago, I believe. Maxace knives. That might be wrong. Let's see. No, it's a Chinese knife. It's a Maxace Rock MRK03 in white G10 and an M390 blade. Here we go. Look at that. The white milled G10, the blue anodized titanium, including a titanium spring clip, right hand tip up only, and then a nice little anodized titanium backspacer with a lanyard loop. Big knife is the rock. M390 blade, kind of a trailing point. Gorgeous stonewash. This is a stainless steel liner lock. Even though the stainless steel is blue, it's magnetic, so it ain't titanium. Ball bearing flipper. Beautiful centering. So I got a whole 4 inches of blade and then a 5 5/16 handle. Lockup is dead rock solid. Flipping action rocks. It is like new in the box. These are out of stock. When they were last available, they had a web retail of $148, and they're gone. So let's do $125 on this one, $155 with an ApostleP edge. And unlike the black and gray rock we ran a couple weeks ago, no lock slip at all on this one. It is dead rock solid. Beautiful example. So $125 like it is, $155 with an ApostleP edge. Next up, I actually have twins in this knife, and you're going to see two of them listed as number 1 and number 2 in your inventory. That's just to help me keep track. Both of them are identical. And these are large fixed blades from Work Tuff Gear, and the model is the Blackout HD satin blade and black and red handle. The knife comes with a goodie bag. Let's go over the goodie bag first. So let's see. You've got a microfiber cloth. You got handle hardware. You got sheath hardware. You got a Velcro patch. You got a fire steel. And you got some paracord. It's a lot of stuff, huh? I don't usually do this, but I thought, oh, what the heck. Alright. Want to see the knife? It's a beast. And it's a rather cool beast, I must say. Now this one is oriented for left-hand carry, but it's easy to flip that over. I have identical knives from the same consignor. He had one set up for left hand and one for right. Beautifully made hunk of Kydex, great tech lock, great thumb brake. Look at this beast, boys. Yeah. Blade steel on the Blackout HD is SK85. Ankura must be the designer. Blackout HD. Beautiful bidirectional satin. And both of these knives are wearing a convex ApostleP edge. Look at your handle. Very Peter Kohler, wouldn't you say? 3D machined black G10 with red liners. Dimensionally, you got 10 5/8 inches of big Bowie knife awesome. Nice forward choil. And then you have a 5 13/16 inches handle. Just gorgeous. So we're going to call these both near mint in box. These are out of stock everywhere. When they were available, they had a web retail of $209. And then this consignor paid me $35 a knife to put my edge on them. So he's got about, what, $244 invested, and you can't buy one. But you can buy one with a better than factory edge for $200, shipped priority mail. No need to sharpen until after you thrash it for a while. The Work Tuff Blackout HD TAP for the ApostleP. Number 1 and number 2, they're both identical. They're like new except for the fact that they've been sharpened. Okay. Next up, from the huge fixed blade to the tiny fixed blade, we have one from ESEE, and it is an Izula in the famous molded sheath with the famous belt clip in steel. And here's the little knife. 1095 blade, stonewashed black oxide. Blade length is 2 7/8. The handle is 3 5/16. Skeletonized handle, begging for the cord wrap art handle of your choice. We'll call it near mint, no box. Web price of these brand new is $65. I'm making a mess. Let's do 50 shipped priority mail. 75 with an ApostleP edge. That's the ESEE Izula. Next up, I think this is really cool. Really, really cool. It's from Spyderco, Golden, Colorado, USA Earth. And it's a paramilitary 2 S35VN, which is kind of my, for me, it's the old pair of Levi's of para 2s. Brown G10, but look, it has been lovingly sanded and polished and lightly radius, just slightly melted at the corners. Beautifully done. So if you like those knife center smooth G10 and crew wear offerings, you're going to like this. I think it's got a little more character than that. The scale job is gorgeous. It's not original, but it's really, really nicely done. And let's face it, how much grip do you need on a paramilitary 2 handle? Frictional grip, not much. Anyhow, there is your knife. Satin finish S35. Pretty nice factory edge, I gotta say. Lockup is dead rock solid. Blade is free and centered. So we're going to call it near mint in box, melting and smoothing mod noted. So the S35VN in brown para 2 is now out of stock everywhere. When they were available, they had online map pricing of $174. Let's do this at $150 like it is. $175 with an ApostleP edge. So that's the Spyderco para 2 smooth brown and S35. Next up. Oh, from Buck. The measure of a knife since 1903. We have the classic folding hunter, the 110 from the 70s. How do I know that? Well, because the tang stamp told me so. I have Buck, and then I have 110 with 1 dot on either side of the model number, and then USA. So the 1 dot on either side denotes manufactured between 1974 and 1980. That makes it 440C. The wood scales, I think, are ebony, but they might be walnut. You'd think I would know that. Solid brass frame. Just a little bit of storage patina. The blade appears to have not been sharpened. It might have been touched up once. Lockup is dead rock solid. But when unlocked, the blade is nice and free. Centering is going to be off to the right just a bit. Near mint, no box, no sheath. The OG. Let's do 150 like it is. 175 with an ApostleP edge. That's the Buck 110, 1974 to 80. Next up, we have another one from Buck. And the evolution of the 110 continues. Notice embossed in the box, edge of a legend. So this is the Buck 110 Slim Pro. It weighs, I don't know, I'm going to guess 2.8 ounces. You're going to have to look it up. Might be 3. So you got OD green canvas micarta scales. Steel lock bar, steel backspacer. The clip is kind of a little work of art. It is a stamped stainless steel, shorty deep carry clip that'll be ambidextrous tip up. My only complaint about the Slim Pros is that the thumb studs blow. They're kind of in an odd position, a little too far away from the pivot, and they're long, and they're right over the base of the cutting edge. So it takes a little wiggling to get to the base of the edge when you sharpen these. That's okay though. Standard 110 dimensions, 3 3/4 blade, 4 7/8 handle. That clip is ambidextrous, by the way. Lockup, rock solid. Oh, the blade steel happens to be S30V. Nice free blade. Centering's close, but I think favors the left slightly. Let's see. We'll say near mint to like new in box. These are discontinued and out of stock when they were available. They were 98 bucks web retail. Let's do 75 on this one like it is, 100 with an ApostleP edge. That's the Buck 110 Slim Pro in OD Canvas micarta. Next up, we've reached the first save me from myself moment in tonight's sale. We got one from Case, and what a beauty it is. You have the Case script shield, plain but chamfered nickel silver bolsters, brass liners, lanyard tube, and let's see. Oh yeah, that is the Case TB71546SS large trapper, the Tony Bose design but regular production knife in true sharp stainless. It is 4 5/8 inches closed. Gorgeous swedged muskrat clip blade. Half stop. Nice walk and talk. 7 pull. And let's see. The centering is dead down the middle on a Case. Yeah, how about that? We will say near mint, no box. Now this appears to be 2010, 2011 production. They're discontinued and out of stock for a long while. Sold listings on eBay ranging between $120 and $185. Let's do 110 on this one and then 130 with an ApostleP edge. And I kind of like it, so don't sleep on it. That is the Case TB71546SS large trapper. Next up, another one from WR Case & Sons. This one does come with a box. It's the number 62009.5 SS Barlow in old red standard jig bone. Here you go. 3 5/16 inches of closed length, beautiful jigging. And check out the bolster stamp, the script Case inside an American flag. How about that? Main blade, a robust clip in polished true sharp stainless. On a half stop, about a 7 pull. Secondary blade, a large usable pen. Nice snap, both blades dead down the middle. We'll call it near mint in box. They're discontinued and out of stock. Now this version with the Case flag stamp and the red jig bone, unobtainium. I couldn't find any sold listings, couldn't find any currently for sale. Let's do $80 like it is, 110 with an ApostleP edge. It's the Case 62009.5 SS Barlow. Next up, another one from Case and another one from the design mind of Tony Bose. It's the Case TB62110SS Saddlehorn jack. So cool. So cool. This one's done in Appaloosa bone, smooth finish. Check it out. Mark side. Ooh, pile side. Oh. Yes, look at that. The XX shield. Let's see, we got 3 1/2 inches of closed length. Main blade. That's sort of a California clip. And look at the Appaloosa etch. So cool. I'll say a 6 1/2 pull. The walk and talk kind of hydraulic. Secondary blade is a trailing point. Blade alignment, beautiful. Beautiful. So again, a long out of stock knife. I found one sold listing for this model in like a green Appaloosa bone. And it sold at $102 on eBay. Let's do $85 on this one. I think the covers make this. 85 like it is 115. I sharpened both blades. The case TB 62110 SS Saddlehorn. Next up, another one from WR Case & Sons. This is the 62156 SS Tuxedo in regular red jig bone. What a sweet little gents folder this is, guys. Diamond shield with the script case. There's your red jig bone. Plain bolsters, nickel silver liners. It is an equal and opposite end jack with a main, kind of a tribal spear almost, with a cut swedge and a long pull on a half stop. The walk and talk is very hydraulic. Then you got a pen blade. 3 1/4 inches of closed length. Blades are both aligned beautifully. We'll call it near mint in box. Couldn't find any of these available new. Sold listings on eBay ranging between $67 and $122. Let's do $65. Shipped priority mail. $95. I sharpened both blades. That's the case 62156 SS Tuxedo. Next up, the case parade rolls on. This one is going to be the 62154W SS Tiny Trapper. The Tiny Trapper in smooth emerald green bone. Yep. It's not quite as tiny as a peanut. A little more usable. You got that diamond shield with the script case. 1 and 13/32 inches. That's 2 and 13/32. Let me remeasure that. I don't think that's right. I wrote 1, but that can't be right. No. It is 2 and 13/32 in length. Main blade is a Warncliffe. Yeah. On a cam tang. You know, I'm going to say this is the main blade, the clip point, the muskrat clip. But both blades accessible from the front. About a 5 to 6 pull on cams. Nice walk and talk. Centering on both blades. Beautiful. We'll call it near mint in box. These are discontinued, not a stock. Sold listings on other covers. I could not find one either for sale or sold on eBay with the emerald green, but they're doing $60 to $89. For this near mint in box example, you're going to pay $60. $85. I sharpened both blades. The case 62154W SS Tiny Trapper. Next up, we have our final case in tonight's sale. It comes in that box. You got to turn the page. It is the 6254 SS Large Trapper. Yes, it is. I think this is kind of a special one because I can't find one. Here we go, guys. You got 4 1/8 inches of closed length. You have some beautiful, probably roll stamped bolsters and end caps with X's and dots. And then you got the houndstooth shield with the block case maker's mark, nickel, silver, and brass. Main blade is a muskrat clip on a cam tang. Pull is about a 7.5. Secondary blade, a full length spay. And the cover material is orange persimmon bone. I think the centering is a little off on both blades, but who cares? They walk and talk nice, they lock out nice. We'll call it near mint in box. Unobtainium in this configuration with the stamped bolsters and end caps and the orange persimmon. Couldn't find one anywhere. I figure it has to be worth $110. So that's what we're going to ask for it. 140, I sharpen both blades. The case 6254 SS Trapper. Next up, it's time to go from Bradford, PA to Escanaba, MI, UP. Yeah, we got 3 coming up from Bark River. Here's the first one. It is, it's just a classic drop point hunter with dark curly maple handle. That's all. Comes in a nice folded leather sheath that has vertical carry or cross draw ability. Got a nice little lanyard tied in that dark curly maple handle. Here you go. A classic among classics. There's 2 things I can tell about Mike Stewart when I look at the classic drop point hunter. He's a disciple of Bob Lovelace, and he likes fell-kniven knives. Yeah. You look up hunting knife in the encyclopedia, this is the picture. You bet. A2 steel, 3 5/8 inches of blade. Aluminum. Short guard. Gorgeous curly maple. Beautiful Coke bottle. Palm swell. Oh, so beautiful in the hand. 4.5 inches of handle, by the way. Near mint in box. Just a little storage patina. You could probably flitz the guard if you wanted. So out of stock for a long time. In the same or similar covers, sold listings on eBay between $259 and $278. That's wrong line. I couldn't find any sold listings for this or any current listings. So I figure it has to be worth $165. So that's what we're going to ask. $190 with an ApostleP edge. That is the Bark River Classic Drop Point Hunter. Next up, oh boys. This consignor has great taste in Barkies. Here we go. How about a Boone 2 in stacked leather? How about that? What, you don't know what a Boone 2 is? I'm going to show you. Comes in a leather sheath with a little reinforcement at the top. Nice long belt loop. Let's unsnap them and we'll tuck that where it goes. How about that? So it won't cut your blade when you put it back in the sheath. Oh my. Oh my. First production run Boone 2, says the etch. You got the marbles-esque fuller, except with a kind of a low saber convex grind. Beautiful swedge. Oh yeah. A2 is your steel. A little bit of patina, some black spots right there. Not a big deal. So you got 5 7/8 inches of lusciousness. You got 4 9/16 of stacked leather, black, red, and white spacers, and aluminum hardware. The crossguard, the pommel. It is a stick tang and nut assembly. So beautiful in the hand. So beautiful. We're going to say this is near mint in box with a little bit of storage patina. Sold listings on eBay ranging from $259 to $278. Let's do on this one $230 like it is, $260 with an ApostleP edge. Next day sharpening available. That is the Bark River Boone 2 first production run. Next up in our final Bark River tonight, oh boys, oh. And it's a Marauder in CPM 154. Now this is kind of significant, I think, because traditionally when Bark River does a first production run, and this is a first production run knife, they do it in A2. Not true with the Marauder. A couple things that are noteworthy. First of all is the design of the sheath, which is heavily influenced by Jenna Martin of Skinbender Leatherworks. That would be the sister company or the spousal company to Vehement Knives. Jenna is Matt Martin's wife. She loves this retention system. So a robust snap with an eyelided tab to get great purchase on to release that, and then this flap that protects the knife handle from the snap. I love it. Here we go. The Marauder is a wicked, almost a harpoon clip. A little bit of recurve. 6 1/4 inches of deadliness in CPM 154. And then you've got a Jim Stewart designed handle that is faceted and segmented. Antique ivory micarta, black and red and white spacers, brass half guard, turquoise inlay, and then a brass pommel. With a lanyard hole, this will be a stick tang and threaded end and a nut. What a gorgeous knife. And it might look like an Instagram handle, but oh guys, you put it in the hand, it is a real deal. Of course it is. So let's see, near mint, in box. Just a little bit of light storage patina. There's a little flea bite. Unobtainium, can't find one. Recently sold or for sale. You can have this one for $300 like it is. $335 with an Apostle P edge. That is the Bark River Marauder. First production run. Let's see if I can get the snap done. There we go. Next up, got one from the mind of Benjamin Belkin, Jack Wolf Knives. The knife inside, I guess it helps if you put it right side up, is the Sharpshooter Jack in fat carbon dark matter blue carbon fiber scales. Knife comes in this little slip, and by the way, in the box is the tubular tin thing and all the goodies. And here is the Sharpshooter. It is a gunstock pattern fusion knife. So titanium frame, emulating bolsters and end caps. There is your fat carbon blue dark matter carbon fiber covers. And the faux bolsters and end caps are lined and chamfered. This has got a little bit of pocket wear, as you can see. You can pinch that blade out if you want to use the nail nick. You can do that too. A full height hollow on a deeply clipped clip. M390 blade, 2 7/8 inches in length, 3 3/4 inches of handle. Great walk and talk. Pull is about an 8. Centering is just about dead down the middle. And it looks to me like this knife has been sharpened, and it's pretty sharp. I'm going to give you a sharpened price, but don't feel like it needs it. So these are out of stock at $299 web retail. Sold listings on eBay running between $250 and $275 with this cover material. Let's do $225 on this lightly carried example. $250 with an Apostle P edge. That's the Jack Wolf Sharpshooter Jack, fat carbon blue. Next up, oh, here's a knife company I haven't seen much of. Devo Knives. And my back of the box tells me that the model is the Growler and the finish is Blackwash. The Devo Growler. Here we go. This is black canvas micarta. Looks like we're going to have a deep carry tip-up clip, ambidextrous with a fill tab, an opening hole and ball bearings, Kind of a fatty spade blade, you could say, isn't it? The opening hole seems to emulate the geometry, the aesthetic of the rest of the knife. Blade steel is 14C28 and 3 1/8 inches of blade, 4 3/8 inches of handle. Stainless steel liner lock engaged thusly. Rock solid lockup. Super smooth bearing action. That might favor the right. You could probably loosen a pivot. Near mint to like new in box. Price of these brand new at your favorite web retailer will be $85. Let's do 65 shipped on this one. Priority mail. 90 with an ApostleP edge. That's the Devo Growler. Next up, here's a knife that looks way more expensive than it is. It is a Civivi, and I don't know what retailer does this, but they put another sticker over the barcode sticker that tells you like half the specifics of the knife. I had to use an X-ray. No, I didn't. Actually, I just looked it up online. Oh. But man, look at this knife. You're not going to believe what you're going to pay for it. This is the Civivi C2106A Imperium in, it's almost like, it's like a shred carbon fiber with gold in it, almost like lightning strike in a random way. Beautifully milled and polished. I have a deep carry clip that will be right hand tip up only. It is a front flipper. Nice bead blast, long, slender, sexy spear point. Nitro V is your blade steel, blade length 3.5. Handle length is 4 1/4, so super efficient blade to handle ratio. Stainless steel liner lock engaged in there. Rock solid lockup. Nice ball bearing action. Perfect centering. We'll call it near mint to like new in box. These are only $55 web retail, brand new. That's an awful handsome knife for $55. But guess what? You're not going to pay $55 for this one. Let's do, and this is all in, shipped, priority mail, $40. $65 if you'd like it with my edge on it. That's the Civivi C2106A Imperium. And by the way, next day sharpening is available if you're one of the first 4. Next up, I wasn't aware that this was happening. Okay, look at the dimensions of this box and tell me that's not a Benchmade box. Well, it is, but that does not say Benchmade. It says Shinola Detroit Pocket Knife. But then, oh, Benchmade. Benchmade. And down here, that doesn't tell us a lot, does it? Except they sold it for $200. What do we got here? Well, we have diamond wood scales. We have an axis lock. We have a polished, deep carry, ambidextrous tip-up clip with Shinola. Of course, when I was a kid, it was Shinola. It was an old shoe polish brand, way back when. And if you were stupid, some might say about you, he doesn't know shh from Shinola. And somebody has bought that old trademark name and they're selling guy stuff out of Detroit. So they took a Benchmade Valet and branded it as a Shinola, but with M390 spear point blade, axis lock, which is rock solid, free drop in action, perfect blade centering. We get 2 7/8 inches of M390, 3 5/8 inches of diamond wood stabilized handle. And we're going to say it is excellent to near mint in box. It's been sharpened lovingly. Got a little funky back here in the choil area, but that's to be expected. So yeah, they're discontinued. They're out of stock. They were $200 when they were available. Between $156 and $218 sold listings on eBay. Let's do 140 on this one, 170 with an ApostleP edge. It's the Shinola Benchmade Valet. Next up, we have one from Tactile. You can tell by the box. And the knife inside is the Bexar in Magna Cut and titanium. Interesting little fusion slip joint from Tactile. Comes in a nice distressed and dyed leather slip that matches the sort of trapezoidal shape of the handle. Is it parallelogram, I guess would be the right term. There we go. Finely milled titanium scales. Sort of a little hidden lanyard post. This has got a little cord lanyard tied in a titanium bead. It is a fusion slip joint on a half stop. So, you got a 2 7/8 blade in Magna Cut. Gorgeous little clip point. 3 7/8 handle. And it does use a closed stop pin rather than a kick. As you can see, no kick. I guess we'll call that a 7 pull. Walk and talk is okay. Centering is down the middle. Near mint in box. Web retail $199 if you want to buy a new one. Or just buy this. $150 like it is. $180 with an ApostleP edge. That is the Tactile Bexar Magna Cut. Next up, we have reached the time in tonight's sale for the Rubs pick. In fact, one of my early birds who watched my teaser video yesterday emailed me frantically wanting to know where the Hogue was. Yeah, guess what? He don't get to see it because the Rob's pick is only for my 9 o'clock viewers. Early birds, sorry. The knife inside is the 54120-EXL RSK Doug Ritter Mini RSK Mark 1 G2. How about that? Oh, by the way, tumbled finish on the blade, carbon fiber scales. Oh my. Oh. So they are carbon fiber scales, but they've got that beautiful RSK sunburst mill, deep carry, Doug Ritter Hogue clip, ambidextrous tip up, able lock on phosphor bronze, and if you look behind the thumb stud, the blade steel is denoted as MC for Magna freaking Cut. 2 7/8 Doug Ritter blade, 4-inch handle, rock solid lock up on the not axis lock but able lock. Man, just a beautiful piece of work. It is like new in the box. They're out of stock everywhere. Sold listings on eBay between $299 and $363. What? On this one, let's do $250 like it is, $280 with an ApostleP edge. That's the Hogue Mini RSK Mark 1 G2 Magna Cut CF. Next up, I have no more tolerance. I'm just fed up, so I'm going bold. Zero tolerance is what I have. Inside this box is a ZT0562 BLK hand drawer slicer. Oh, but not just any. Because the BLK was a sprint run, and it came with a normal peel ply black G10 scale. But frankly, the knife deserves better. So this consignor just went ahead and did a little custom carbon fiber. And you can tell it's not factory ZT carbon fiber because the ZT carbon fiber, they leave the skin on. So you have satin chamfers and kind of a glossy flat center, which look like crap. But anyway, this one looks so much prettier, doesn't it? So DLC frame and blade on this one. There's one little spot in the DLC right there. And there might be, that's pretty much it. It's a ball bearing flipper. You're shocked, I know. Blade steel 20 CV. A little bit of evidence of use on the blade looking at the DLC coating. So dimensions, let's see here. What do we got? 3 9/16 inches of 20 CV, 4 5/8 inches of titanium and carbon fiber. You got an ambidextrous tip-up deep carry clip, hinderer lock bar stabilizer, steel inserted frame lock, and a ball bearing KVT pivot system. Lockup is perfect. Centering is dead down the middle. We will say condition on this, near mint, in box. Out of stock at $240 web retail, plus the cost of the scale. That's got to be, what, a $50 or $60 scale. Let's do $220 on this one. $250 with an ApostleP edge. The ZT0562 BLK Plus custom scale. Next up. Okay, who knows the answer to this? What is my favorite zero tolerance knife of all time? Well, yeah, it's the 640. This is close. We are going to experience it now. It is the ZT0393 GLCF. All right, this is just a fun knife. So it looks like carbon fiber, and it is, but there's something not quite right about the color, because it's GLCF. Now, I'm not doing a lume shot, but it glows in the dark. Yeah. So the 393 was kind of a less expensive 392 with thinner frame slabs and then these relieved scales. And they made a few different versions of this, but man, this GLCF, whether it's glowing or not, it's just gorgeous. You got a tip-up clip, ambidextrous, and this is the ZT interpretation of the hinderer Eclipse. It's got a little harpoon clip blade and 20 CV, and this is like hinderer working finish. I'm not sure if they supplied the materials or if hinderer actually did the finishing, but it's a coarse acid stonewash, right? 3 9/16 inches of blade, 4 3/4 of handle. Ball bearing flipper, steel inserted titanium frame lock. There's your lock engagement. It's rock solid. Centering's perfect. Condition like new in the box. These are available brand new. And this does not seem like it's the less expensive alternative to the 392 anymore. Because in this configuration, web retail or ZT map pricing is $340. Let's do $275 on this one and $305 if you'd like it with an ApostleP edge. The ZT0393 GLCF. Next up, I won't be able to say much about this knife because everybody already knows what it is. Spyderco. Mannix 2. Just Mannix 2. It's a PJOG Mannix 2. Black peel ply G10 scales. Satin blade. No, I'm sorry, that's incorrect. Sort of a blasted and then tumble polished S30V blade. It's gorgeous. Rock solid lockup with the caged ball bearing lock. How's that for a free swinger? And perfect centering. And let's see, if you don't know, 4 5/8 handle. 3 3/8 blade. These are out of stock right now. When they were last available, they had a web retail Spyderco map price of $151. Let's do $125 on this one like it is. $150 with an ApostleP edge. Near mint to like new in the box. The Spyderco Mannix 2. Next up. It was a near disaster as I started pushing stuff around the bench. From Spyderco, by way of Seki City, Japan, we have a Police 4 FRN in K390. I think that's the best looking FRN Spyderco's ever done. Gorgeous teal. It's beautiful. Bright hardware except for the clip. Black coated Spidey clip. Okay, I don't know why they put the hole in it. 'Cause I guess if you mount it here, yeah, you need the hole. This is a big knife, guys. It's a big knife. That K390 blade is 4 7/16 inches in length. This one doesn't have any patina yet. It is a midlock without a boy dent, which is interesting. Blade, it's not super free, but it's not horrible. Centering is going to be very close. Lock up, solid. Let's see. Map pricing on these, and they are currently available. $176 will buy you one at your favorite website, or just buy this one, like new in the box. All in, shipped, priority mail. $140 like it is, $170 with an Apostle P edge. That's the Spyderco Police 4 FRN teal K390. Next up. I got one in the wrong box, guys. It's the Spyderco, and it is a paramilitary 2, but it's not SER. So yellow label and SER would tell me that this came with a combo edge, paramilitary 2, but it's not that. This is the paramilitary 2 murdered Warncliffe. Black P-Apply G10, all black hardware, including the clip. Oh, then you got that DLC blade. S30V, Warncliffe, heavily lubricated pivot apparently. Rock solid lockup, free dropping blade. Down the middle blade centering. We'll call it near mint to like new in box. It's a discontinued and out of stock Sprint run. Sold listings on eBay. There were only 2 of them. One was a turd. It sold for $161. One was like new. It sold for $245. This one, like new. Not $245. How about $180 like it is? $205 with an Apostle P edge. Next day sharpening is available. The Spyderco Pair 2, Warnie, murdered. Next up. Well, let's see. Who knows what's my favorite large-ish Benchmade? You guys know what it is. It's the 560 BK-1 Super Freak. This is a cool knife. It's a cool example because it's been carried and it's been used. You got your black and gray milled carbon fiber scales. You got red liners. You got red hard anodized aluminum standoffs. You have a Parkerized split arrow freaking clip. Freaking clip. Because it's a Super Freak. Ambidextrous tip up. The best clip Benchmade makes. You've got a Cerakoted blade in CPM M44. 3 9/16 inches long, 4 3/16 inches of handle. I want you to look at that Cerakote. It doesn't have any spots where it's worn through, but it definitely has evidence of being used. And it looks great. I mean, it looks great. Lock up, rock solid. Blade action, free dropper. Action, beautiful. Centering. Down the middle. So I'm going to call it excellent to near mint in box. Only because of the sort of rubs in the blade coating, which who cares? Map pricing of these currently in stock knives from Benchmade is $252 at your favorite web retailer. Or just buy this one for $62 off. Let's do $190 like it is, $220 with an Apostle P edge. The Benchmade 560 BK-1 Super Freak. Next up, I teased you guys about this one yesterday, and it will deliver, I promise. And again, save me from myself. It's a black box Benchmade, but trust me, the knife is a lot more fun than that. It is not the 537G Y-1. My seller put this in the wrong box. It's a 537-2301. Yes, 537-2301. The 2023 SHOT Show exclusive bailout. Tell me that ain't fun. Really? The Diamondback milled hard anodized orange aluminum scales. The Aqua backspacer and standoff and thumb stud. The Tonto blade of this limited edition SHOT 2023 knife is in CPM 3V, and it's gorgeous. Lockup is rock solid. 3 3/8 blade, 4 7/16 handle. Very near a free dropper. Probably could be if you wanted it to. But it's eminently flingable, like it is. Blade centering's down the middle. Lockup is dead rock solid. We'll call it near mint, maybe like new in box. These are actually still available. Blade HQ has them for $292. That's all you got to do is pony up $292, or buy this one. 200 shipped priority mail, $230 with an TheApostleP edge. The Benchmade 537-2301 bailout orange aqua 3V. Next up, we got us another black class Benchmade. It's the 417 Fact. You know, a knife that I kind of like. It's a little wedgy for me to own because of the slender blade and the grind, but it's so sleek. So I got thick black oxide coated stainless steel liners, black hourglass standoffs, black deep carry clip, just a couple little nicks in the edge. Of course, ambidextrous, tip up, because it's an axis lock knife. Got a gorgeous, gorgeous swedged spear, but as you can see, what does that look like? 110,000 stock, probably. Kind of a mid-blade saber grind, so it's going to have wedgier geometry. But it's a sticker, man. Blade steel on the Fact is S30 The blade length is 3 15/16. The handle is 4 3/4, so pretty efficient blade to handle ratio. The scales are beautifully milled, hard anodized aircraft grade aluminum. The action's beautiful, the lockup is beautiful, and the centering is beautiful. We'll call it near mint in box. These are out of stock. When they were available, they were $225 web retail, map pricing. Let's do $160 on this one and then $185 with an TheApostleP edge. The Benchmade 417 Fact. Next up, I think I teased you at length about these last two knives. They're both from Microtech. The first is 100% American made. It is a SOCOM Elite single edge tactical standard model 160-1T. We have a black hard anodized aluminum handle that emulates an integral, but it is not. I have Track Tech inserts for traction. I have a right hand tip down clip, and then I've got this boss with a couple screws in it that holds the liner lock or the locking leaf. It's on bearings. It's got a two-tone spear point blade, and the blade steel, if you can look, is right in the plunge, M390. Blade length is a full 4 inches. The handle is 5. Is it awesome in the hand? Oh yeah, it is. The two-tone blades, satin and DLC. It is rock solid in its lockup. Drop shutty action. Perfect centering. Serial number is 11048, and it was born in October of 2022. These are out of stock. When they were last available, they had a web retail of $336. On this one, let's do 260 like it is, 290 with an Apostle P edge, and it's got a carbide glass breaker. The Microtech SOCOM Elite SE. That brings us to the last knife in tonight's sale, and this is truly a save me from myself moment. It's another Microtech, but this part of the Signature series. This knife is 100% American made. It is the Microtech Ultratech TE Tri-Grip Signature series, an E-Knives exclusive with a very long model number. Did you see a serial number 068? Oh, look at the copper hardware. Oh my. And the Tri-Grip milled aluminum handle. Look at the little Microtech driver shapes. How about that? Serial number 068. Born 11 of 22. It is a dual action OTF. Look at that. Look at that. M390 blade. Beautiful two-tone finish. Beautiful satin flats. Very katana-like, isn't it? Yeah. 3 3/8 inches of M390, 5 inches of handle. Button is medium to firm. Great grip on the button. 100% reliable. Like new in the box. They're out of stock. When they're available at a web retail of $482. This one can be yours for $375 like it is. $410 with an Apostle P edge. Save me from myself, boys. That is the Microtech Signature Ultratech TE Tri-Grip. And that brings us to the end of another weekly knife sale on the Apostle P channel. Hope you enjoyed it. I sure did. Grace to you and peace, my friends, from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. Remember, the word is sharp. Now have at her, boys.